All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of What's What VR. Today we have Monica Alley here with us. Monica, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming. You guys got some great work that you guys are doing, so it's more important to be doing that than talking to me. But you are with Anna's Grace Foundation, correct?
Yes, yes.
So tell me, I know, but for somebody who doesn't know, what is it you guys are doing over there?
So, Anna's Grace essentially helps families who have experienced miscarriage, stillbirth, or infant loss. One of our biggest projects is to help them with those unexpected end of life costs that they experience, burial and funeral home expenses, because usually insurance doesn't cover that. And they already have enough to worry about. They need to focus on healing and not those expenses. And that's where Anna's Grace comes in to help them with that.
That's amazing. That is, so you're usually meeting people on, one of the worst days of their life, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
It's
those days
not
are
exact.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you guys been doing this? And is this local grassroots, started or more of a national, piece?
No, actually, Anna was my baby.
No,
Um,
okay.
and so this came about after my husband and I lost Anna in 2013. We were searching for a way to make her life have meaning and to give back to the community. And one of the best ways we thought we could do that was to walk beside these other families who were experiencing a similar thing. And so I think we helped our first family in the summer of 2015, and we're almost up to 700 families helped since then.
Wow. And so tell me, walk me through, when you say help the families, what is it you guys are doing to, to help them?
So,
Obviously there's some emotional support, that everyone's going to go through in an event like that.
right. So, first and foremost, the initial need that most families have is to take care of those funeral home and cemetery expenses so that they can say goodbye in a dignified and meaningful way. And so we'll help them there. But that's not where it ends, because families, need to be supported throughout their journey. And so throughout the year, we'll offer events where people can come together in a safe place to talk about their baby, to remember their baby, and really celebrate their baby. Um, it's not easy to talk about baby loss out in society at large. It's uncomfortable for someone to ask about it. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to talk about it. But when you're in a group of other people who have experienced it, you feel like you can finally say things and do things. And that's what we aim to do at our events, to give them permission to talk about their baby, because they're surrounded by other people who understand those emotions that go into it. And then,
And I wonder, do you think it plays in, I've had some of this in my life, and I've also had some, loss. I had a brother that passed. And a lot of people I've talked to that have been in some of those situations, they find it's easier sometimes to talk to other people that you aren't so closely connected with, like with direct family, maybe, to where it's like, hey, I really don't know you all that well, but I don't mind telling you some of my story, or I can kind of get it out because I'm not going to run into you tomorrow morning, or we're not going to have to keep looking at this like, are you having a bad day still? It's, you can kind of talk and then remove yourself from it. Is that
yeah, no, I really think that the community around baby loss is different, and it's a different kind of loss, and to see the bonds between these families is amazing. But I think there's like a specific connection between them because it is such a unique type of loss,
Mhm.
um, where they look forward to seeing each other every year. And they've made connections that they normally wouldn't have made because of their um, the similar, loss that they've experienced. So every year at our events, you'll see people that met the previous year. They may not have talked in the interim, but they're excited to see each other because they know what they've been through. They've been walking the same journey. They've walked in each other's shoes, and they're back again, to support each other the next year.
That's amazing. And it's actually, so you said, I'm looking at the website, almost, approaching 700 families. Is that local? Started this here. Is that locally here, the greater Baton Rouge, area, or
Yes. So it's the
where are we
nine
growing?
parishes. It's the nine parishes that make up the greater Baton Rouge area. And
Okay.
so baby loss happens every day. Every day. If you haven't been touched by it, you probably know someone who has, even if they
Mhm.
haven't expressed that to you. And these are the families who have reached out to us, to get that extra support.
Wow. And so how is this how is this growing for you? You know, do you have a team? Are you looking for people that can help? You know, there's always ever seems like everybody I've talked to, everybody needs another hand, but if there's something, is there anything that immediately you could think that, maybe we've got somebody listening that could help, or that, wants to get involved and says, hey, this happened to me. I had no idea that this, organization even existed. What's next? Obviously, dial the number, but, tactically, what is it? Is there anything you're looking for right now?
Well, COVID has been difficult to navigate. And I think any nonprofit would tell you that. And for Anna's Grace in particular, donations, of course, are down, but requests for assistance are way up. So
Hmm.
before coronavirus, a typical month would be maybe assisting 10 to 12 families. Whereas since coronavirus, we're seeing 18, 19, 20 families a month in need of assistance. So there's that immediate need of donations. And of course, with every event, we're always looking for volunteers to help out. Many hands make light work. And so we have an upcoming event on March 21st, the Anna's Grace Quarter Marathon. So we're looking for participants, and you could
Hmm.
participate virtually if you want to. We need, volunteers, sponsors, any way that you can help with that. Um, we would be grateful for it, because usually the quarter marathon is our biggest event of the year, and it brings in about half of our annual income. But
Hmm.
this year, of course, is going to look different, you know. Um, and so, we need to make it as successful as we can. So we're really asking the community to come out and help us in any way possible, whether that's creating a team, a fundraising team, a running team, sponsoring us. Spreading the word is huge. Just getting the word out would be a big help.
Well, I like the idea of virtually running a quarter marathon
Yeah.
versus running a marathon. I think I could do that a little bit better. Um, I generally don't try to run anywhere, but no, that
I know.
seems it'd be hard for me too. But I could virtually sign up and do it, and I could tell you that I virtually, I used the keyboard, I ran the whole way. Um, so, Joey, how does that? What do you guys envision? How do you see that? Going right now. With is it going to be? You've got obviously a place, where people can go run, but they can also virtually. Is there anything people can be able to participate online with anything, or
So
how's the event come together?
yeah, so there's a lot happening this week. The governor just made his announcement about moving into phase 3. So we hope to make an announcement as to what our event will look like by the end of the week. There's
Okay.
still a lot of logistics that go into it. A lot of hurdles that we need to jump over, and we just there's with coronavirus, you got to be flexible. So hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have a better handle on what it's going to look like. But one way or the other, we will be remembering our babies out there on March 21st. We every year after the race, we have a remembrance celebration where we remember our babies out loud by reading the names of all the babies that their families are there to remember them, in a balloon release. And it's just a way for families, once again, to come together as a community to support one another, even if it's 6 feet away. Um, and so, it's important for them to feel the community behind them. And a way to do that is, to participate. If we can't run like we normally would, just to know that someone is, you can join one of their running teams, show your support that way. If someone, has lost a baby, start a team in that baby's name and let them know. Or start a fundraising team in their baby's name and let them know, because every dollar that's raised goes to help another family.
People can donate online. You can sign up. You can do everything. You've got it all there, right?
Right.
And so, annasgrace.org for anybody who doesn't know. We'll kind of link down there. What else? Is there anything from obviously like we talked? The donations from a logistical. From do you from support staff? Is there, groups that you're looking to work with? Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to just think from anything that we can possibly help maybe make a connection with, from, is it, different, funeral homes to, different things like that. Is anything that we can help there, or maybe anybody who's looking?
Well, we have a great relationship with most of the funeral homes and cemeteries in our area. We've worked with most of them over the last 5-6 years. We also have a great working relationship with the birthing hospitals here. They've been great. What we are probably the most lacking in is promotional knowledge. Kind of this sort of thing, to spread the word about different events and what we do. So if anybody is, knowledgeable, I am not techie at all. And we don't really have anybody, we don't really have a staff. We don't, it's all volunteers. And so if anybody has a special skill that they would be willing to share with us, we would love to hear from them.
Okay. That's what we talked, about some of the, just getting some of the business community, some of the people that we have to pitch in, and allow some of those, whether you've got, the marketing teams, or you've got, graphics teams or production teams, and, let some of those, spend a little bit of time, helping. So maybe it's something that somebody's listening can talk to a boss, or, coworker, and say, hey, let's get a team, let's go do this, let's meet some people. And then maybe we can come back and volunteer a little bit of our time to help, in some of those efforts of what's going on. And so, because that's got to be that's a big burden to carry, but not only, carrying it yourself, sounds like it can be a lot. I've always been told it's lonely on the top. So.
Yeah. But, I have great teams, like for our quarter marathon, for all of our events. We have, great support teams. All the volunteers come together. They're dedicated. And that's what you really need. People who understand what the mission is and are dedicated to seeing it move forward and growing. Because when we first started, the first year, I have to tell you, when we started offering financial assistance, it was the summer of 2015. And by December, we had helped 8 families. And we thought, oh, man, that was so easy. This is so doable. But since then, we have grown tremendously. I think last year we helped over 175 families over the course of the year. And so every year we're seeing this exponential growth. And with that growth comes growing pains. And so you don't really know what you need until, it happens. And then you're like, oh, I wish we knew somebody who knew how to do that. Because we're having to learn it all from scratch. We're not professional fundraisers by any stretch of the imagination. I've never been involved with a nonprofit before we started it. So we're starting from the ground up and just trying to make a difference the best way we can.
So one of the other things I wanted to jump in and just talk, if we don't get a chance, do you still have the, gala coming up,
we
in
do.
July? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's for somebody who doesn't know on that one, I think it was July I saw.
Yeah, it's going to be held on July 31st.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called a Sweet Summer Night. And so the big draw is we have different vendors from around Baton Rouge who offer their sweets for our participants to sample. So, you might have, bundt cakes or macaroons or cookies, or it's a very sweet event. But usually we'll have a silent auction and different games and activities for people to participate in. And then, of course, there's lots of sweets.
Sounds like an interesting night. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. People get to dress up, and it's a little different. We like to say it's our dressy event. And it's nice to dress up and have somewhere to go and to support a great cause.
It's great to hear people talking about it. I've been saying to people, it seems like in the last 3 weeks, people have started talking about events again.
Yeah.
Like that they're going to happen. I'm telling you, I do this, show pretty regularly. And a month ago, people were still going, I don't know how this is going to work. We don't know what we're going to do. Now there's the kind of the attitude of it's going to happen. We just don't know exactly how yet. We're going to have the event, or we're going to do this. But I'm glad to hear that we're getting it back, because I think that's the groups like yourself, the nonprofits have been hit extremely hard. And what a lot of people have tried to stress to a lot of people is they don't realize what they do for the community. You know, most of the nonprofits are doing things that other people don't want to do, or that frankly just don't make fiscal sense for, you know, a business to do. Otherwise, somebody would have been, you know, the optimistic and ran in there and said, hey, I can make money doing this.
Right.
And it's so important that we help and support, you know, the nonprofits, and for people to know what's going on. And now these events are these are the social events that people go to. These are things that people do. And so that now that we can start getting them back, and we can, I don't want to say back to normal, but, you know, back to moving and meeting with people. And, you know, it's just exciting to hear for me. And I think we're getting there.
It's pretty exciting for me too. Because last year, the initial shutdown happened 2 weeks before our race.
No.
And so we were primed to go, and then suddenly we had to shift gears, you know, and then our gala last year was postponed, and we did kind of a hybrid where you could participate virtually, and then a few people were able to come within the restrictions. So we were really hopeful that this year would be different. But we've had a year to kind of think about it, you know, and kind of come up with some options. And you'll see that probably by the end of this week. Like, we've put forth some different ideas, and we think we can still make it meaningful for the families that we serve and for the families who come out to participate. And, you know, it's something important for the community as well. Like you said, people are just itching to get out and do something. And hopefully they think about it and say, hey, I can get out and do something and support a great cause at the same time.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. That, you know, this is a chance to get out, support the cause. And like you said, it's affected so many people, and some people don't talk about it. Other people, you know, it's not something you want to talk about, I guess, at the end of the day, you know.
It really isn't. And in and of itself, it's a very isolating experience because of that. And with COVID on top of it, it can just be, you know, terrible for families because there's no options. There's nowhere to go to talk about it if you wanted to. And so to be able to put on this event is very important because it's an opportunity for them to at least connect at some level with other families who have, you know, who are journeying with them.
Absolutely. Well, no, I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to get you to come back and tell us, you know, maybe, you know, kind of, hey, what does it look like? You know, we're closer because when did we say when is the run?
The race is on the 21st. March
21st. So,
right.
I'd love to, you know, have you come back and tell us a little bit about, you know, when is it, you know, or not when, but where, you know, and logistics and how it works and how to sign up, and we can, you know, get you in, jump into another show and kind of get the word out. So I think it's important what you guys are doing.
Thank you. I would love that. Awesome.
Well, look, I appreciate all the time. It's been fun to tell people all the time you have more important things to do than talk to me, you know.
But this is important. You know, you're doing a great service helping us to get the word out. So I appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words, and we'll have you back and talk about, you know, a little bit more, and, you know, maybe, you know, we can maybe bring somebody that's got you know, some stories, you know, you know, of how it's touched and how it's impacted them, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Ms. Michael, I appreciate it very much.
Oh, I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.